Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Aiden Meets Interesting People. We're trying to string a few episodes together for you to watch. You can watch them over Christmas time with all your family. That'll be handy. So we've got someone amazingly interesting, I think, for today's show. Welcome, Jay.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Jay's a hypnotist.
Yeah, look into my eye.
Oh, don't start now. Oh, my God. Yeah, hypnotism.
Yeah.
I think when people think about hypnotism, they think of pocket watches and, you know, turning people into chickens and things like that. But I'm assuming that's not exactly what hypnotism is. But
No. So there's not a lot of like pocket watches and chickens. A lot of what people think is sort of a bit of a misconception. So no. So there is use of like pendulums and things like that. It's not a great thing.
Oh, you really do?
Yeah. So we don't use it to like put you to sleep. It's more of a like focus and let's sort of just get some sort of subconscious work happening. But yeah, I think if any hypnotist tried to do the chicken thing, they'd just lose their certification straight away.
All right. Yeah. We should clear up. So you do you probably do two different types of hypnosis. One side of it is the comedy hypnosis, so I think
which is what you've just seen.
Which is that, which is pull the pocket watch out. It's very good. But you also do clinical or therapeutic hypnosis.
Yeah.
I don't know. Which ones you?
So like
the comedy's fun, obviously. And
the comedy blows my mind still every time because every show's different. I can plan out every skit. I can assume what people are going to do for every skit, but then someone with an amazing personality will come up on stage and throw everything out the window for me. And so now you've got to just make it up as you go along to bring everything back on track.
Yeah.
So that's all fun, but the hypnotherapy is where the rewards are.
Right.
Like, as the more I learned hypnosis, the more I got to heal myself as well. And so the more I can help with people sort of overcome those exact challenges, it's such an amazing feeling.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about the comedy hypnosis.
Let's go into the comedy.
Start. So I can't remember when I was growing up. Hey Hey It's Saturday was big.
Yeah.
I've been actually watching a few little clips of Hey Hey It's Saturday recently, but they would have people on there. And I can, like, Martin St. James would have been the biggest one that I remember. I don't know whether he was maybe before your time, maybe you're a bit younger than me,
I still know Martin St. James.
You would know him?
Yeah, absolutely. He sort of set the benchmark for Australian hypnotists in terms of like getting onto TV and doing the comedy side of thing. He really sort of lit it up.
But I was reading about him and he wasn't necessarily welcome with open arms, but he was banned. Comedy hypnosis was banned for a long time on Australian television and live performances because people didn't understand it. They didn't realise what was going on, I guess. And I think were worried of the long-term ramifications of putting someone under some sort of hypnotic spell that, you know, every time they hear the Macarena, they're going to take their shirt off and dance. So, you know, long into the future. But I assume people have come around since.
Yeah, so one of the biggest things we do, especially with hypnosis, is now we try and demystify hypnosis with every performance, every hypnotherapy sort of session, is because there's so many myths, misconceptions, and mistruths about it. Hollywood has done such an amazing job of explaining what hypnosis is. See, there's no way, you can't get stuck in hypnosis. You can't be put into hypnosis if you don't want to.
Yeah.
So if I start doing hypnotic stuff to you right now, if you don't want to go under, you're not going to go under. The viewers aren't going to go under because they don't want to.
Yes.
So there's no chance of... They used to think that if we show the hypnotic process on live TV or on TV, people at home are going to go and they're going to get stuck, and now random households are going to be walking around. Yeah,
the sales of pocket watches are going to go up. That's right.
I need to go. Yeah, but there's no... It can't happen like that.
No.
So it can only happen if you want it to happen. And so with the TV and stuff, there's so many misconceptions that they're like, well, no, we just need to keep this off. But over time, more and more shows have become the debunking of hypnosis has come around full term. We've got so much science pumping into hypnosis these days.
Yeah.
That people are like, oh, okay, cool, we can let him go.
So do you reckon back in like those days of Hey Hey It's Saturday and Martin St. James and those guys doing tours, was therapeutic hypnosis a thing, or do you reckon it's come from that?
No, so hypnotherapy's been around Oh my goodness! Like hypnotherapy has been a thing since ancient Egypt.
Probably longer,
Yeah.
longer than comedic. Yeah,
It's only like relatively new. Like we're talking maybe. Oh jeez, I'm going to make myself sound like if all the other hypnotists be like, no, don't you do it. But about I'm going to say at least the 60s is 60s to 50s is when it started becoming popular, and that's like the top hats and the canes. So if you think older magician style,
yes,
wear your suit and tails, and I'm going to do the very big fancy show. That's when comedy or stage hypnosis would come about, and it wasn't comedy hypnosis.
Yeah,
it was let me demonstrate hypnosis in my very large grandeur performance. And some of the amazing things that would happen during that performance led to someone going, oh, well, maybe we'll make a joke out of this.
Right. Yeah, true. Yeah.
And then obviously, as things evolve. And now you've got, like my show, where by the time this airs will have just happened, and you'll see people riding chairs as if they're in the rodeo.
You are, yeah, you do a show later today at the rodeo. That's a tough crowd, man.
Look, it's fine.
I take my hat off to you because I wouldn't do comedy in front of them, let alone hypnosis. Like when I do comedy, like at least I know what I'm going to say, and like I know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You're getting up there with a rough plan.
Oh, very much. It's like I've got a skit list. I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this joke, this skit. But if I don't get enough people, at least to volunteer up on stage, it's going to be a very dull show.
Very weird half
and
hour.
I need personalities. Like people, like if you've got the personality of a damp dishcloth,
right?
This show's not going to go well. You're in the rodeo. 1, 2, 3, 1 awake.
Yeah.
Wow! Look at him go.
Right. So you set up for your comedy hypnosis show.
Yep.
Are you looking around at the audience to try and find people you're going to pick out, or are they legitimately like, all right, who wants to do it? Let's go.
So I do a little bit of both, and depending on who you see as a hypnotist, we'll tell you various different ways and how you should approach it. I've sort of cut the line in the middle. So I do what we call suggestibility test to find out who's the better hypnotist subjects, who's going to go in nice and easily. We also do a lot of pre-framing, so suggestions before we even bring you up about who we want to come up.
Yes. Yeah.
Then we do these are suggestibility tests, these imagination tests.
So half the people are cutting themselves out already.
Exactly right.
Because you've said like we're looking for people who are
doing
keen for good time, blah blah.
Yeah,
whatever.
That's right. And then we do the imagination test. So one of my favourites is called book and balloon. So you imagine on your right hand you've got a very large heavy book.
Yeah.
And it's going to press down, and on your right arm and your left hand you've got a very large red helium balloon, and it's going to go lifting and rising and lifting. And as you think about that balloon lifting and rising and lifting, imagine I'm going to put another book on your right hand now.
Right.
See how your hands are immediately beginning to separate right now?
Yeah.
So we do that obviously over a longer period of time.
So you're doing this with the whole crowd?
The entire crowd.
Everyone, yeah.
And then I'm like, right, now if you've managed to get this change has happened, if your hands are just like this and you want to be a rock star, you want to be part of tonight's show, I need 15 to 20 people to come up on stage. And then from that 15 to 20 people, we'll do a skit.
Yeah.
During that skit, I'll find out who's going deeper in hypnosis, who my larger-than-life personalities are, who's going to be my rock star, and then I'll bring everyone else out and off stage.
Yeah, right, yeah. You're picking your people who are
I only want
willing.
Yeah, that's right.
Willing. I always think I've seen one hypnosis show.
Yeah,
I went to a footy club one time. I had a guy, and he was wandering around beforehand asking people or asking the organisers like who would be people who would be keen to get up and blah blah blah, and then he did like I'm gonna. For 20 minutes, I need to turn down the lights. I've got these 15 people. You guys, we sat up at the bar and drank and had a quiet chat and whatever. But he's like, I'm going to pull the lights down. I just need to work with these 20 people. And he did that for sort of 15 minutes. And then the show started.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, when he had the people that he wanted. And he did, like you said, he weeded people out.
Yeah. So I only need 5 minutes of that.
Yeah. I assume that was all just completely part of the show.
Yeah, so once you've been brought up, we still need to get you into that hypnotic trance. So a lot of the times people spend about 70% of their waking day in hypnosis anyway. We just sort of need to get you to a deeper level. And so to get you to that deeper level, we need to get you to like a real sort of suggestible state, which is almost like that dream state. So hypnotic trance is, it's like when you're actually sleeping and you're dreaming. You know your dreams aren't real.
Right.
But your dreams are still happening and you're acting as if they're real in the dream. So it's that whole, when you get the fear of falling, you actually feel like you're falling, or when something goes to attack and you actually flinch in bed, your body responds as if they're real. And so that's all the hypnotic sort of state is. We open your mind up to suggestibility. We get rid of the fella who's running the front of the show so we can talk to the back. And then everything I say can and will instantly become your reality.
Yeah, right.
As long as you want it to happen, though.
So what? I don't know how deep your training or whatever goes, but what is actually happening in the brain? Like,
so there's it depends how long have you got?
About 35 minutes.
About 35 minutes, right?
I got more.
If this is the scope, this is about what we're going to cover.
Give it to me like I'm an idiot.
Give it to you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we open up if Steve is here and Dave is here,
right.
Steve is the fella telling you my name's Aiden, I'm sitting in this chair, I'm wearing a purple shirt, I'm doing this podcast.
Right.
Dave is the fella who's telling you, okay, make sure your heart beats, make sure you breathe, take your breath in and out. Here's all my life experiences. This is what makes Aiden Aiden. We let this guy think he's running the show, when really this guy's... He may be driving the train, he's shoveling the coal.
Okay.
We need to get him out of the way so we can talk to him. And once we've got to that back part
he's
of
the fun guy.
Yeah, he's the fun guy. He makes everything happen. Once we can get to that part of the subconscious mind, the brain lights up like a Christmas tree.
Right.
So we can, if I put you in hypnotic state and I put you into a CAT scan, MRI, whatever it is, and I start saying, okay, you can see the color blue. The parts of your brain that see the color blue will light up,
fire up,
more than if you're actually looking at the color blue.
Right. Yes.
So things will happen as if they're happening really, like truly.
Yeah.
So the whole point is we need to get rid of this thing called the critical faculty. I'm like, it doesn't stick. I'm like, we need to get rid of him. So the guy who says I'm sitting here wearing the purple shirt, sitting in the front room, he's trying to say if things are real or not.
Yeah.
So if I tell you you're not wearing a purple shirt, you're wearing a green shirt.
Yeah.
Immediately you go, he will go to the back of the mind going, well, no, I'm wearing a purple shirt. He's telling me, he's giving me crap.
Yeah.
And it will sort of block out anything I need to suggest now. Whereas if I go, notice how simply sitting in the chair, listening to the sound of my voice, worrying about if to make sure if this audio recordings, you're having certain thoughts. As you're having those
many thoughts.
Yeah, so many thoughts. As you're having those sort of thoughts, you're wondering where I might be going with this. As you wonder where I might be going with this, you can begin to realise I've said nothing at all, but yet you've been paying attention deeply. So that's just right. That little bit of hypnotic language pattern there.
Yeah.
I gave you so many truths that he was like, oh, well, everything he's saying so far is real. I'm just going to stand aside.
Right. Okay, yeah.
And so now we've gotten to that subconscious part of the brain. That's lighting up like a Christmas tree. And so once we give you suggestions that can be taken on to a deep identification level, that's what's going to make changes. That's what's going to make comedy hypnosis work. That's what's going to make that next thing.
So is it from my limited reading in hypnosis, I will admit, because I went to that gig at the footy club and I thought, this is horse shit. When I went there, I thought, this is bullshit. I'm going to go and watch. And people are like, oh, you should get up on stage. I'm like, no, I want to watch. I want to see what he does. Because, like, you know, obviously someone who gets on stage and has an ability to sort of work a crowd a little bit, I can sort of watch and go like, oh, I wonder what how this is actually going to work.
Yeah.
And after I went away, and it was a great show. Like, people were doing stupid shit. And, like, they're probably the people at the footy club that would literally, like, do it anyway. I gave them a beer.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the show of they're doing this semi-unwillingly was quite intriguing. And I just thought, oh, what is this? And I read stuff about it and I sort of watched bits and pieces. I thought, well, why does comedy hypnosis work? And then, I was sort of reading stuff about, like, well, people won't do anything they wouldn't do anyway. Then, you're not going to get...
This guy will pop in all of a sudden.
Right.
I mean, if it worked the way people think, I wouldn't be doing hypnotherapy, I wouldn't be doing stage shows. I'd be standing by ATMs all day collecting PIN numbers, living in Hawaii by now.
You should give me, a PIN number.
We'll have some training. We'll go rob a bank and you forget about my face.
Yeah. So then, then I walked away from it going, all right, well, I can see that it's a show and you're obviously very selective on the people and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But then the people, the couple of people that I did know that were on stage, who I spoke to later, had quite a different understanding of what was happening.
Yeah. So it's and this is what always gets me. You'll always get different responses to who's up on stage, and you sort of never know what the response is. Because I try to be as open as I can with my hypnosis, hypnotherapy, and my understanding of it. Sometimes you'll ask after show. So generally, what was it your experience? And some people will just tell you what you think you want to hear.
Yeah. I don't remember anything.
I don't remember anything. And I'm like, well, I didn't tell you that you were going to forget anything?
Yeah.
Are you genuinely forgetting it, or are you just trying to please the hypnotist and be the great subject? And then other people like Darren Brand talks about it on the Joe Rogan podcast as well.
Okay.
He has the same sort of thought. So he'd make himself invisible and he'd float like, this pack of cards across the stage.
Right.
And everyone would freak out. And it's like, so what did you experience? And some people would say, well, no, I generally couldn't see you and I saw the cards floating. Other people were like, well, I knew you were there, but I kind of feel like I had to play along.
Yes. Yeah.
So, it's a very fine line. So they're definitely in some sort of trance-like state.
Yeah.
But their experience will differ person to person to person. And so that's why you got to try and really be selective with who comes up. That's why you want those very large personalities.
Yeah.
Because you want the fella, even... You can tell who's in hypnosis, who's not in hypnosis. But the guy who might not be as deep, but is still going to act as if that's real.
Yeah, he's a nice sidekick.
He's a nice little sidekick. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's just going to add to that show.
Yeah, because the other part of it that I sort of was reading about was you'll get people up there who might be a little more shy.
Yeah.
Doing some shit that they wouldn't normally do.
Yeah.
But what you've done is you've created an opportunity where the hypnotist is to blame for all this stupid stuff. So you can get someone there who's quite a prude, and if you're doing some sort of adult show, you're like, right, you're gonna take your shirt off, right?
Yeah.
And you're gonna dance like a stripper. So
he's been wanting to dance like a stripper his entire life.
That's right.
I've just given him the chance.
Exactly, and it's your fault. It's
that's
not
right.
his fault.
And
he was under hypnosis.
And that's the other good thing is it gives him like that little bit of safety blanket as well.
100%. Yeah.
So
So I mean, I get what we're getting at is when you've got sort of 10 or 15 people up on stage, they're all in various states of some sort of hypnotic trance of what they're willing to do and what they're able to do. Because from my understanding is that they could basically snap out of it themselves and go, I'm done here, and just get up and leave.
Well, that's the thing is, and I make sure I make a point of that with my shows as well, is not to get up off the stage and leave. Because sometimes, and it's happened more than once, is someone will think they're not in hypnosis, will stand up and go to leave, and then all of a sudden I have 2 shows going on.
Oh, right. Okay.
So just for the hypnotised volunteer, take a deep breath in. Every time I say the word bananas, you're going to laugh uncontrollably.
Yes.
Bananas. And then all of a sudden I've got someone out in the crowd who is about to wee themselves at the word banana. I'm like, you come back here. I didn't tell you to leave. Sit. Mental note. Take them out.
Watch that guy. Yeah. Take that guy. All right. So what is taking them out? How does that work?
So in the same way that I can give them a suggestion, like the word bananas is going to be funny, I can give them the exact same suggestion. So on the count of 3, you'll no longer be under hypnosis.
Yeah.
Now that sounds like I'm got this magic power to take you in or out, but the suggestion is you're not going to follow any of my suggestions. Yeah. That's the underlying thing too. So I'm going to take you out of hypnosis. 1, 2, 3. That did nothing. I don't have a magical wand to zap you in or out of hypnosis. Oh. You just take that suggestion as, okay, cool, I'm out of hypnosis now, whatever that may mean. Probably still in some sort of hypnotic trance, but the suggestions that I give up on stage are no longer going to affect him.
How long, if you don't do that, does it just wear off?
Yeah, absolutely. So in the same way that you can't get stuck while you're sleeping, you can't be stuck in hypnosis. Yeah. You still know what's going on. You're still aware of your surroundings. You're still...
But 6 weeks later, if you walk through Coles and go, there's that guy, bananas, he's not going to lose his shit, right?
Well, it depends. It depends. That's the whole point of hypnotherapy.
Right.
We want these suggestions to be long-lasting, long-gaining, and we do obviously a whole different sort of preface and a different way to make these suggestions sort of stick.
Yes.
We sort of want them to go to the identity level, whereas when we're doing a show, it's just for the next whatever it is. So when you come to see the show, I love doing post-hypnotic suggestions, they're called. So once you're out of hypnosis, nothing you've done up on stage is going to affect you, apart from in the next 20 sips that you have, all the men are going to meow like kittens. And they're not going to know why they've meowed like kittens. They're going to wonder what the hell's going on and wondering why everyone's laughing at them. So it's great when you see these big burly boys who are no longer on stage and they're just trying to enjoy a drink by the bar, sipping on a Jack and Coke.
Yeah. Really? It happens?
Oh, yeah. It's amazing.
And then that just wears off.
Then after 20 sips, it's gone.
Right.
And it's great when the subconscious mind counts the sips for them.
Yeah.
So they'll drink with no clue, and then the back of the brain will go, that's 20, all gone.
Yeah.
But then I've heard stories of people who have only had 6 or 7 drinks, or 6 or 7 sips that night.
Hmm.
Woken up in the morning, gone for their coffee,
Ah.
and they've still got 13 sips left to
Still got 13 to
go.
13 meows left in them. So you've had people obviously jump off the stage and continue the show over there.
Yeah.
Has it ever? Is there ways in which, or has it ever gone wrong?
Like there's no sort of wrong way to do hypnosis. I think now that I know a bit more of my understanding of
I
hypnosis.
probably meant like someone doing something that you sort of didn't really suggest. Like,
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
actually want you to get naked on stage. Why did you do that?
Right, yeah. So there are a lot of things that you learn from experience. Like, right, just add that extra note in there. So there's one thing I do which is called hot and cold. So it's just, you guys are just down on the beach and it's getting hotter and hotter and hotter. It's 36 degrees. It's 42 degrees. It's incredible. It's 53 degrees. Oh my God. You guys are in public.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Keep it on. After that one, you learn to go, okay, no, you guys are in public wearing your favourite swimwear.
Yes.
Make sure you're keeping your clothes on. It's 56 degrees. There was a show I did at the Port Fairy Folk Festival. I sort of opened up to the crowd, like, what suggestion do you want to see? And they were like, well, we want to see him breakdance. And this fella was an amazing fella. Like, he was Irish dancing. Couldn't remember his name. And I'm like, right, you're an amazing break dancer. And I'm just expecting a bit of hip hop. He's getting on the ground trying to do windmills on concrete, asphalt. No, stop. Stop. So you learn as you go.
Yeah. What you should and shouldn't say.
Everyone's safety is their number one priority. If I'm not doing an adult show, don't make sure we're in public and you tell people they're in public.
Yeah.
I try and push that line as close as I can, just for comedy's sake. But I try not to go too far.
You could do bucks parties or hens parties or something where the line can be pushed
God,
a little further along.
Some of the stuff that you should see. There's a fella in Las Vegas called Mark Zavard. He's got an amazing hypnosis show.
Is he like the biggest guy in the world doing this stuff?
I wouldn't say the biggest guy in the world, but he's got a residency hypnosis show.
Right.
So every day, every night, doing the exact same hypnosis show, but still like very big in the field.
Yeah.
And his finale is I don't know what your audience is like or how far I can describe this.
Go on.
So all the women will be brought up on stage for his finale, and you ladies are in the World Championship lollipop licking contest.
Right.
We've got $1 million on the line, and you're going to lick and suck these real lollipops, and then you'll open them up, and they're dildo pops.
Right.
So he'll work his way down the line, slowly waking them up as they're all looking at these pops going, oh, no.
What have I been doing?
What is exactly right. And then you get down to the final two, and they're trying to compete for the $1 million, and you... I mean, it's great fun.
Yeah.
Not something I'm going to probably do at a family-friendly event.
Not going to try that at the rodeo tonight?
I don't think so. Hey guys, look at what Mum's doing.
I don't know. Some of the people that rodeo, I don't think they'd care.
No, that's why. Like, I'm probably going to push the line a little bit, not that far.
Yes. Yeah. Good idea. Let's talk a little bit about the other, I guess, the business side of it.
Yep.
What does that mean?
So clinical hypnosis hypnotherapy has been used for like helping with quit smoking. It's used for weight loss, like painless childbirth, kicking bad habits, performance enhancing, public speaking.
Yeah. Do you have to be in the room when they
No. So we
childbirth?
No, so we do like preset. You're
yes.
doing amazing.
Look at the watch.
I tell the child to look at the watch. It's coming out easily. No, so it's all about setting up that like suggestion,
right,
to make the childbirth as seamless as possible.
Yes.
And so the main thing is we don't use the word pain. We use like pressure.
Okay.
And that in itself is going to drop drastically the amount of pressure you'll be under during the childbirth. A lot of the pains and sort of things we feel is the anxiety towards the pain.
Right.
The fellow who trained me told us a story of this lady. She was allergic to anesthetic.
Right.
And she had to get some of her bowel removed. And so she had to find a hypnotist who was able to give her hypnotic suggestions to have painless surgery.
Yeah.
That was the easy part.
Yeah.
Finding the surgeon willing to cut her while she's open and awake to remove a foot of bowel was the difficult part.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
But she was wide awake for the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, she surely would have felt something, but the anxiety was removed.
Yeah, okay.
Therefore, about 70% to 80% of the pain was removed. She was obviously given like a local.
Yeah.
And
But
once
not
you're
under,
once you're
in the way.
inside, you don't really have nerves around all your organs and things anyway, so you don't really feel much going on there.
Right.
But it's just incredible. Like it stands to reason. If up here is creating all your problems, all your pains, all your feelings, if you can learn how to use this to tell it what to feel,
Yeah.
you're already 90% of the way there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I wonder. It's interesting to think like how much, maybe, I don't know, maybe more powerful. Like if you can convince someone that I'm cutting you open, I can do with purely a local anaesthetic, and you're going to be, the pains are going to be too bad. Like, I don't know. Can you make me good at maths or something? Or
Yeah. We can help you with that golf swing if you want.
That'd be handy. That's something I'd pay for. Yeah.
So it can help you with learning. It can help you with studying. High school students are absolutely amazing because they're already in that sort of suggestible, moldable sort of state.
Right.
So when you give them those suggestions and you work with them for a week or two to be like, okay, no, you're going to be able to focus on your studying. We're going to set up these patterns of behaviours, and once we've established these patterns of behaviours, therefore your learning is going to do X, Y, Z.
Right.
If you do X, then Y happens. If Y happens, then Z must be happening.
Okay.
And then we get to decide whatever X, Y, and Z is as we work together.
Yeah. Okay. So if someone comes in here and they go, I want to quit smoking. Yeah. I've tried patches. I've tried. I don't know, what else do people use to stop smoking? I've tried not smoking. I've tried that. I've tried gums. I've tried everything. Nothing works.
Right.
You're my last resort.
Right.
What's the process?
So the first thing is, do you really want to quit smoking, or is someone making you come here to quit smoking?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, okay.
If you don't want to quit smoking...
I want to quit smoking.
All right, so if you want to quit smoking... So what's happened in the past that's kept you smoking?
I'm trying to think of other people.
I was going to say...
I should have chosen something that was me.
We may as well go buy your pack of smokes,
right,
and then you can come back and then we can have this conversation. Don't do that.
Okay, so if I was to say that smoking in the... I don't know, maybe it's a... I don't know, it's a habit. It's a habit.
It's just a habit.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
I like to drink sherry at night time and smoke cigarettes.
Right, and so as you're drinking the sherry, do you have a cigarette with it, or do you drink your sherry and then you go for the cigarette?
No, I have one with it.
You have one with it?
Yeah.
Just ruins the taste of the sherry though, doesn't it?
I have no
idea. Trying to do a therapy session on someone with no experience is great.
You're just attacking my taste of drink. Look, that's your biggest problem. Sherry sucks.
No, well, see, the whole point is I ask you questions all about it. I don't necessarily mention sort of that we're going to get you to quit smoking. I want to find out what the triggers are that cause you. So if it's a habit, I'm smoking while I'm drinking.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Let's make sure we change that habit now.
Right.
So I can either make you just stop smoking, or we can change the habit up so you can still enjoy your sherry without wanting to have a cigarette.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
If that makes sense.
So where does what you do deviate from, say, a quit smoking counsellor who doesn't do hypnotherapy?
So a lot of the things is we like to, as hypnotherapy, we like to focus on the solution, not the problem. A lot of therapists, a lot of cancers will come in and they can spend not to take away from anyone's modality, mind you.
Right, sure.
But they'll spend 6 months just talking about the problem. So you're a smoker and it's hard for you to quit. And I know that when you drink, you love your cigarette. All this language that they're using is aiding that habit.
Yeah.
I know you love smoking when you drink. I know it's hard to quit. They're driving back that language pattern to you. So when we speak, it's like, so now that you're a non-smoker and this problem was a problem before, but now it no longer is after today, what things need to change in order for you to become a non-smoker now?
Right.
The language pattern's just shifted. When you focus on what you want, you get what you want.
Yeah, okay. It's
the same analogy of when you went and bought your last car. You're like, I knew exactly what make, what model, what colour it was going to be. No one else is driving the thing. It's going to be the only one in town with it. And then the day you pick it up, there's 20 of them on the road.
Yeah.
Where did they all come from? They were always there, but you're just focusing on this thing now that you can notice it everywhere.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So when you're focusing on, it's so hard to quit smoking, it's so hard to kick this habit, I only smoke when I drink my sherry, it's all these things that you're focusing on. Well, of course it's going to be hard to quit. Of course you're still going to smoke when you have your sherry, because that's all you want.
Right.
Internally.
Yeah.
Is that story. The stories we tell ourselves drastically change our lives.
Right.
We're nothing but our stories. So if we can change the story, we can change the picture, absolute game changer.
Yeah. All right. So I come in here. I do notice that. I mean, we've set up the comfy chair. We've got a couple of comfy chairs.
The change chair.
There's no beds. There's no spirals on the wall that are spinning. If I was to set up a movie set or a TV set of a hypnotherapist's office, this is not what I would set up.
No.
So, I mean, obviously, like you said earlier, Hollywood's got a lot to answer for when it comes to the craziness, I guess, of hypnotherapy. But people are not coming in here and laying down.
No. You can put
we've
your
joked
feet
about
up
the
if you
pocket.
want.
We've joked about the pocket watches. There's none of those. So we sit down, we talk. You go through it. You've figured out that now I love smoking cigarettes with sherry, and for whatever reason that I can't even come up with in my own head. Is that hypnosis yet, or have we not started hypnosis yet?
It's hypnosis the second you walk through the door.
Right.
Because you're already in the mindset of things are going to change today.
Yes.
I'm coming to see a hypnotherapist. This is my last straw. This has to work.
Right.
So automatically you're already changing.
So there's not a point where we go, okay, now we've got all the info. Now we're going to do hypnosis.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lie down, shut your eyes.
Well, I still say the exact same thing. So once we've done the intake process and I've got all my answers and I've made you think more about the issue in a deeper sense than you probably thought about before, to give me as much information about the problems as I can. All right, cool. Have a seat there. Take a deep breath in. Focus on the spot up on the wall. As you focus on the spot up on the wall, just take another deep breath in. As you close your eyes and you exhale slowly, just let your mind to drift and fade and drift, because the conscious mind knows, but the subconscious mind knows what your conscious mind doesn't know. And what you know don't know is okay, because what you don't know becomes what you know. What you know becomes, and then so on and so forth. I can already see you starting to go.
I'm trying to keep up.
But that's the thing.
And my mind's like,
go on. Welcome to hypnosis.
Wow. Yeah. I was mainly thinking, like, is that actually how fast you talk, or is that
generally?
Oh, really? So they do it. So that part of it's true.
That part of it's true.
When I watch Martin St. James on Hey It's Saturday, that part.
The more the quicker I talk, the less chance you've got to think about it.
Okay. Yeah.
And the less chance you got, because this thing, the subconscious mind will pick up everything straight away.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
It doesn't have a speed filter. I could record myself, put it at speed 7, and it'll still understand.
Yeah. Okay. Right. I guess it's also. I mean, so there's no object. Like, you don't have a. I mean.
Yeah. No. That's right.
So you do use this, or is that just a prop for?
No. So I've used this once or twice. It's not necessarily to like put you under.
No.
So like if you were to hold that, and you rest your arm on the armchair just like this.
All right.
Now I might have to get out of things. I'm probably going to ruin your shot as I do this.
No,
we'll find out.
We'll figure it. We'll edit it later.
If you just focus right here
on the bottom of that thing.
Yeah. So sometimes the subconscious mind will give me a signal for yes that looks like this. Sometimes the subconscious mind will give me a signal for yes that looks like this.
Right.
So I just want to ask your subconscious mind, as you focus on the end of that, to give me a signal for yes now. Notice it's swaying backwards and forwards.
I'm trying to stop it.
Yeah. The more you try and stop it, the more it's going to activate. So go ahead and give me a signal for no now, and watch it change direction. See it beginning to swing forwards and backwards.
I'm trying to be as still as I can.
And so we would use this process to go, okay, has Aiden got a problem that he wants to be able to work with today? Go ahead and give me a signal now. So that's a no.
That's good news.
So you're pretty good today, mate.
I'd be upset if it was yes.
And so using this, we can talk directly to the subconscious mind. We get what's called biofeedback. Right. We're getting a physical thing. So this is all miniature muscles acting which obviously by the length of the chain, it's going to enhance the swing.
Sure.
You clearly are moving that. You're just not aware of it. Your subconscious mind is activating it to do what you need to do.
I was thinking about, is this podcast good? Is that yes or no? That's no, isn't it?
No, it changed. It's going around. We're hit and miss on today's episode.
Damn it. I'll try again. I get it. Okay. All right. So
it's not a stare at this and let me.
Do you know what I think that would do for me? To have that literal thing to look at is that my brain, I feel, is pretty quick.
Yeah.
So if I'm sitting in a therapist's office and talking to someone, I'm like, salt lamp, picture. There's a plant. Is that real or fake? No, that's a fake plant. Well, there's a whiteboard. Why is there nothing written on the whiteboard? Oh, butterfly. Like, and I'll be listening to you and I'll be understanding what you're saying, but I would have read every title on that book, on that bookcase. I would have read the fire plan behind you, which I have read.
and that's perfectly fine.
But I would still be listening. But if I had something to actually focus on, then I'd be more inclined to listen to literally what you're saying.
And that's the thing, and because there's lots of different types of minds that we have to try and work with and figure out. So
you got to switch off that part that's like butterfly.
Yeah. So there are people who are very visual. There's people who are just kinesthetic and they're all movements. There are people who only have audio in their head, no visual. So if I can't sit there and go, so picture this.
Right.
So listen to the sound of my voice now. And then there are people who are like attention focused, like very analytical. Like as you said, I've got to read every title on here. Where's the butterfly? It's a fake plant. Why is there nothing written on the whiteboard?
Yeah.
So that's when I would use that. So like for you to come in, I'm going to pump you with as quickly as much information as I can.
Yeah.
To just pound your subconscious into submission.
Right. So if I wanted to quit smoking and I came in here, is it what, half an hour and we're done, or is it come back every 2 weeks for a year?
It's like again depending on whichever hypnotist you want to see.
Yes.
I do 2 sessions.
Yeah.
With the second session being only if you want it.
Okay. Right.
So
if you feel you need it.
If you feel you need it. So an hour and a half to 2 hours for the quit smoking day.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Done.
Should be done.
Now you're a non-smoker.
Yeah.
Most people will leave and they might light up a smoke, but they feel like
in the car on the way home.
But they feel like a non-smoker smoking. They're
they're
not a smoker anymore.
Yeah.
They're a non-smoker cheating.
Yeah. Okay.
And then so all of a sudden they'll come back the next week like I know I shouldn't be. I hate myself. You smell like it. I'm like, it's okay. It's fine. 60 to 70% of people are going to be in the same boat as you. You're not alone. Sit down in the chair. What's going wrong? What's stopping you from doing what you need to do?
Yeah.
And then a lot of the time they'll tell you what they need.
Yeah.
Which is one of the great jobs about the hypnotist is by asking the right questions, they'll give you the answers.
Yeah.
And then you just give them what they want.
Right. So smoking's one. I've seen hypnosis for weight loss.
Yeah.
You do that as well?
So one of my very first clients was a weight loss lady. She was quite large overweight, and we helped her change her relationship towards food. And by changing the relationship and her attitude towards food, obviously changed her income, her ingoing sort of her intake.
Yep.
I mean, her income probably changed too because she's not buying all the sweets and lollies anymore.
Yeah.
But she the mood changed, the attitude changed, and when she's feeling good, she can do more things. So now she's got the energy and confidence to go to the gym and exercise, to stay on these healthier foods. I only recently caught up with her actually.
I was going to say, do you see her wandering around and
no, well, she's actually interstate.
Okay.
My very first, so we do online sessions. And
you do online as well?
Yeah, so it works just as well as being in person.
Yeah.
But she's down 15 kilo now with a goal to be 50 kilo by the end of the 12-month period from when we started.
When we started, yeah.
So she's well on her way.
Yeah.
She's smashing goals.
All right. So smoking, weight loss. You mentioned people like kids. Like your VCE kids probably more so.
Yeah,
with study.
So like I haven't done a great deal with the teenagers and the kids and whatnot, but it's still an amazing field to help you focus on study, get rid of that test anxiety.
Yeah.
Performance enhancing type things. So removing negative blockers. Like as you said, the stories we tell ourselves are what we feel is what's going to happen. So if you're at high school and you're like, oh, I'm going to fail this test, or I have to study so hard, I don't know if I'm going to get X, Y, Z. Well, what do you think's going to happen if you keep telling yourself I'm not going to do well? I'm
like that with maths.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's like what and that's probably based on some fact where I just don't process numbers very well. But
when did you first decide that?
Oh, ages ago. Yeah. Back at East Warrnambool Primary School.
So why are you taking life advice from a primary school version of yourself?
Yeah, wow.
What kind of primary school kid knows about life?
But now when I'm faced with certain math problems, and it's super apparent when I go to places, like to the bank and get bank loans and stuff, and they start talking, I'm like, numbers. Can I just have money, please? I don't care. I don't know what you're saying.
24% interest.
Yeah. Over the
balloon fees, what?
Comes up
just money.
Yeah, I've no idea. I just literally glaze over and start reading the bookshelf and the fire plans and looking for butterflies.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
No.
So that's not necessarily mathematics.
It's
sort of like a whole different field. That's just like, I can't be buggered doing all this paperwork and understanding the technicalities of things. Yeah. You can understand that $5,000 plus $5,000 equals $10,000. I want $10,000. Give me money. I understand I've got to give you 12 grand back.
Yeah.
Just give me 10 grand. Whatever, sign.
100, yeah, exactly.
So that's not your math problem, that's a paperwork problem.
Yeah, but when it comes to like, okay, so you can pay off, this is the % per annum, and then you've got to pay that much, and then, and then there's all the fees and stuff on top of that. It gets too much for me.
To be fair, I don't think you're alone in that. No. I'm pretty sure I struggle with the paperwork and the nonsense as well.
But I could be easily convinced that it's semi-anxiety driven.
Yeah.
Like you were saying with kids studying, that's what brought me to it. Is that if I'm sat down and faced with a maths test, I would straight away go like, I can't do this anyway, so I'm not even going to bother. I know I'm not going to. Yeah, you should have prepared one. I'm not. Yeah, there's no way I can pull this off, so I'm not going to ever try.
Yeah, so immediately you start to tell yourself these stories inside your head.
100%.
And so even if it's the simple one of what's 5 + 5, if you've got that story in your head, you're going to have to go, what is 5? I know it should be 10.
Yeah.
But is it 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Yeah, it is 10. Let me double check. And then you second guess yourself because two parts of your brain are now fighting.
Yeah.
He's trying to go, well, we know it's 10. And he's going, well, we don't know if we know we know.
Yeah.
So the same reason that a smoker or a weight loss client gets up one day and goes, I'm deciding I'm not going to be I'm going to quit smoking. But in the back of their head, they're saying, you've been smoking for 40 years. You know you're not going to give up today. No, I'm going to do it. I'm going to give up smoking. You've been smoking for 40 years. You know by lunch you're going to have a cigarette. No, I'm going to give up. No, you're not. Who wins that fight?
Yeah.
We're going to light up before lunchtime.
Yeah.
So the weight loss client, I'm only going to eat one piece of cake. I'm on a diet. No, you're going to eat the whole bloody thing. No, I'm only going to have one slice. No, you're not. You're going to have 3 cakes by the end of the day.
Yeah.
So if the same thing, if you're doing that math test in the back of your brain's going, oh, I don't know if we can do this. I don't know if we can do this. Doesn't matter what this guy's thinking.
Yeah. So the back of your brain's just justifying
Look,
the whole time.
I mean, I point there because I can't really point to where the subconscious is.
Yeah,
it's just easy to go, he's back here somewhere.
It's easy to blame that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean with in regards to the biology of the brain part of it.
Yeah.
Back then, whatever. But yeah, and you're able to. Yeah, it's just justifying it to you.
That's it. It's right. As long as you can come up with an excuse, a lie, a story that you can do whatever you need to do.
Yeah, that's what I tell the bank when they ring up and say, you haven't paid your bills. I'm like, yeah, because I didn't listen.
Because
I don't understand at math, so I didn't realise you actually wanted me to pay it back.
Yeah, what? I thought it was a gift.
So you relatively recently have got into...
Recently being about 7 years.
Oh, into hypnosis?
Yeah.
Oh, you've been dabbling in for that long?
Yeah, so like professionally, like running my own business, actually getting the certifications and the pieces of paper to hang up on the wall, only in the last maybe 3 years. But I've been doing hypnosis, about 6 or 7.
Okay.
Actually, no, probably going 7 or 8 years now.
Right. So how did you... Did you start off just doing comedy stuff and then...
I actually started just playing around with my friends.
Oh, really?
So it was back in the day when I was like at the mercy of myself. Like I was drinking heavily. I was, drug abuse. I had a family of 5 to support, but I couldn't even look after myself to get up in the morning type thing.
Right.
And so I was awake at like 3 o'clock in the morning, halfway through a bottle of Jack, just scanning YouTube, bored out of my mind. And I came across a video of 2 guys trying to hypnotise themselves.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, well, let's just have a watch then. And he did what's called an instant induction to one of them. And he came back up. By the end of the video, the other fellow was like, no, I'm not hypnotised.
Ah.
No, I'm definitely not hypnotised. I'm like, yeah, right. So then I'm like, and then I'm always curious about, I've always been curious about the mind, how it works, how you can sort of create things. So I'm like, well, actually, that's a good thing. What is hypnosis? How does it work? Is it a real thing? And at this point, I've been doing comedy for Dirty Angel Comedy a couple of times. I don't know if you've heard of Dirty Angel Comedy. The fella who runs that, an amazing man.
I've dabbled.
But I was started off here and then went downhill so quick. And I'm like, well, I want something. I love performing. I love doing that sort of stuff. And then I was like, well, people do comedy hypnosis. People do shows. Maybe this can be my ticket out of my own life.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And then so I just started, with the YouTube videos and reading a couple of books, and then I'd go around to a friend's place and I'd just try an odd technique here or an odd echo technique there, and the responses they would give me were exactly what I was told the responses would be. I was thinking, no.
Yeah, really? Yeah.
No. So just read more, studied more. And then finally got the confidence to go, so guys, I've been learning this new thing. I could hypnotise you. Like, no, you can't. And lead them in to be ready to be put into a hypnotic state. And then, did what's called an instant induction. So I just shake his hand. Down you go.
Yeah.
And so he's dropped. I'm inside his head. What do I do? Holy crap, it worked. What do I do?
I've watched the end of the YouTube video and they come back.
What do I do here? Hadn't absolutely freaked me out. I was like, oh my God. Suddenly I felt like I've got this mystical, magical power to unlock his mind. I have the world in my hands. And then obviously started learning a bit more and going, no, well, that's not really what's happening.
Talk yourself out of it.
But it was, the more I learned about hypnosis, the more I got to release from myself.
Okay.
The more I got to sort of help myself.
You were your own first patient.
Yeah. So I got to sort of like help myself push those limits. So, I don't drink. Well, I still have the occasional social drink, but I don't drink. I don't drug use anymore. I keep fit and healthy and active. I've got positive mindsets. And it's almost a requirement of me now to help people get over those sort of things.
Yeah.
No one should be left in the darkness any longer than they have to. And if you've got tools, techniques, strategies to be able to help people get over these sorts of things, then you should be doing something.
Yeah, right. Okay. So you feel like that you've you stumbled across that YouTube video, maybe not necessarily by accident, but I don't know.
I mean,
sometimes
the universe,
or something. Yeah.
I'm not big on all my woo-woo, but sometimes things just line up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, if I didn't come across it, I'm sure I'd still be, sitting at home, sucking on a bottle of Jack, coming up with horrendously horrible jokes to try and further my very limited comedic career.
Well, it'd be it would be very interesting to have comedy hypnosis. Yeah, at Dirty Angel, we might one day. Who knows?
We'll just run a show. I'll just hire out the hall and we'll bring people in. We'll get your mates from the footy club up.
Yeah. So we'll get close to wrapping up. It's been really interesting, actually. Talk to me about is there a style of hypnosis that you do? Are there many styles? Or if someone's watching who's interested in how it works and where to get info or whatever, where would you...
So there's lots of different types of styles of hypnosis.
Right.
One of the biggest ones is called Ericksonian hypnosis.
Say that again?
Ericksonian.
Ericksonian.
Yeah.
Is that someone's name?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
right.
Milton Erickson is the dude's name.
Okay.
And he is what has been deemed the godfather of hypnosis.
Oh.
He was a man, he suffered from polio when he was a child, and he was paralyzed. And he relearned how to walk from watching his sister.
Okay.
And Ericksonian hypnosis is amazing because you don't use the word hypnosis, you don't use the word sleep, you don't do traditional showy, look at me, I'm going to put you under. He'll just start talking to you about, you come for weight loss, say. He'll start talking about tomatoes and his tomatoes going in the back garden, and then an hour later he goes, all right, time's up. Yeah. Okay. And you're like, well, what the hell happened? But then all of a sudden your weight starts dropping, your attitude's changing. He's a conversational hypnosis, very non-direct, but will speak in a way that the subconscious mind will understand. For instance, like if you come, like in the tomato example, it's like, I've got these tomatoes growing in the backyard. Do you know much about tomatoes? They're absolutely amazing. You can never overfeed a tomato. A tomato will only take what it needs to. A tomato knows when it needs to grab stuff from the ground, the exact nutrients it needs. Yeah. It knows exactly how big it needs to be. It knows exactly when it needs to feed other people around it. It knows when it needs to take water. It needs to know when it gets sunlight. And it will make changes to make sure that it can get sunlight. It will grow specifically on the vine to know where it'll get the only right nutrition. And you're sitting there going, why are you talking to me about tomatoes? But if you break that whole segment apart there, you can sort of see I'm talking about, no, so if you're a tomato... Don't overfeed. Don't overfeed. You'll only get exactly what you need. And I don't do Ericksonian because I'm so bad at non-direct. I'm very much, I'm going to give you a suggestion. It's going to be to you. I'm going to tell it to you. I feel like you'd have to be really good at that because if you started getting lost and started to make shit up, trying to add to this analogy that you've started, you're going to get caught out pretty quickly. I'm okay with metaphors. No, you're waffling. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But to do a whole non-Ericksonian session is so... hats off to the people who do Ericksonian.
Okay.
because it's such a deeper level of understanding, such a deeper level of intelligence to be able to create an hour and a half long story
Yeah.
associating to your problem. I can give you a 5-minute metaphor.
Yeah, sure.
That you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I can see where you're going with that.
Yeah.
But it's still direct. It's still you see what I'm doing. It's not hidden behind the veil.
Right. So you don't do Ericksonian?
Ericksonian.
I feel like I'm just
Yeah.
naming a
I
mobile phone.
I don't do Milton.
Yeah. So what do you do?
So I do a lot of direct suggestions, a lot of metaphors. So you come in, you go to. I'm going to tell you're going to look at a spot up there. You're going to take a deep breath in. As you take a deep breath in, your eyes will close. You'll hear the word sleep. You go into a deep hypnotic trance. Notice from this point on, you're no longer going to be X, Y, Z.
Okay.
Very direct. Here's the suggestion. The deeper you go, the better you feel. The better you feel, the deeper you go. The deeper you go, the more my suggestions become true for you.
Right.
I'm talking directly.
So is that what's that called? Direct suggestion.
So that's called direct suggestion.
That's the style.
So that's a style. Yeah. There's numerous different types, and I think I do that mainly because I'm so used to doing the comedy hypnosis where I need to be direct. Imagine if I did a comedy hypnosis show and I'm like, so you guys know about tomatoes, right? Tomatoes are great because they
Strap
sleep.
yourselves in for an hour and a half. Yeah.
So so I'm very direct in my approach to sort of things.
Yes. All right.
And
that works.
That Ericksonian man, he's absolute godfather.
Is he still? Is he?
No.
No, doesn't practice anymore. Like
He passed.
He died. Right?
A while ago. But it was it's funny you're wearing the purple shirt actually because he was purple and hypnosis because of Milton sort of go hand in hand right now.
I told you it was a fluke.
See, sometimes the world provides. No, so he was colourblind, but he always wore purple.
Okay.
And people were like, well, why do you like purple if you can't see it? It's like, I can appreciate the idea of the colour.
Fair enough.
And purple now has sort of become the hypnosis.
Mine was the first shirt I looked at.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which you knew was happening. Those suggestions I gave you before.
And actually, I did put it on this morning and thought someone who would have watched lots of these podcasts will go, that's the exact same outfit he wore in episode 4. Same shoes, same pants, same watch. Like I've just walked from one to the other.
That's right. We tie them all up in about a week.
I need some hypnosis on dress sense.
Yeah.
I just put on whatever I want.
Look, I can't make you do anything you don't want to do. I can't work miracles.
Yeah. Oh, damn it. All right. Okay, let's wrap it up. It has been really fun. Where can people find you?
So you can find me on Facebook if you search up Changing Paths Hypnotherapy.
Changing Paths Hypnotherapy.
Because it's never too late to change your path.
I can put links in the thing,
brilliant.
I'm very clever.
Website is currently being designed, so you can't find me online yet. Just on Facebook. You can email me at CP Hypnotherapy. CP Hypnotherapy. I had to try and think then. I was like, CP Hypnotherapy at outlook.com.
Yep.
Just shoot me a message if you want to know what hypnosis is, what hypnosis isn't. We're able to sit down, we'll have that chat.
Yep.
If you've got an issue, we can do we'll do a free intake session. Find out if I'm right for you, if you're right for me. If we feel like we can work together, we'll talk about going on to the next step.
Yeah. And in here or online?
So we can do online, we can do in here. Obviously, with the way things are right now, some people don't like doing the face-to-face thing, and that's 100%. Perfectly fine. So and online hypnosis is just as effective. People have been doing it since the internet first came out.
Yeah.
And so it's absolutely good. My first 3 clients with amazing success have been through Zoom.
Yeah. No, it works.
Makes it a little more difficult for me to be able to try and go, are they sleeping?
Yeah.
Can you lift your camera so I can see?
Are they asleep or are they just buffering? I think your camera's turned off.
I think your camera's still. 1, 2, 3, wide awake.
Yeah.
Oh, the audio's dropped.
Disconnect. Yeah, it's probably a bit hard when you disconnect halfway through.
Yeah, but
ruins the magic a bit.
But we give that suggestion that if for any point, the audio connection drops, you'll immediately wake up under hypnosis. We'll re-pick up and we can continue with the session.
Oh, good. So I won't be stuck.
Just like when we learned that people take their clothes off when they're sitting on the beach, we learn from our experiences.
Very good. Have I missed any key parts of hypnotherapy that we should have spoken about?
Look, man, I don't think we've got time enough to sort of go into how deep hypnotherapy can go. I'm trying my best to sort of keep it general but specific at the same time, which is very much hypnosis. You'd be very vaguely specific. Yes. The only other thing I can say is if you guys are interested in learning hypnosis, hypnotherapy, There's amazing stuffs on YouTube. There's plenty of books out. If you want to get some certifications, go with the Tad James Company.
Tad James.
Tad James. That's where I trained. And it's such a weird name, isn't it? Tad.
Tad James. Yeah.
So Tad James, he's no longer with us, but he created the Tad James Company, and he was the president of the American Board of Hypnotherapy.
Right.
And so when you get a training through the Tad James Company, you'll learn hypnosis, you'll learn hypnotherapy, you'll learn NLP,
Yes.
you'll learn timeline therapy.
Neuro-linguistic pathways.
Program.
Damn it! I was so close.
No,
and it's written on my paper.
So good.
I didn't want to look down and say it.
It's
thought,
same
programming.
Same but different. Someone wants to train you to do the same thing, but they can't call it copyrighted things. So we call, just like you can learn timeline therapy with the Tad James Company, or you can go learn timeline progression with someone else. It's essentially.
I was trying to be smart.
No, you've done well. But yeah, neuro-linguistic programming is NLP. You'll learn timeline therapy. Not only will you be certified, but you'll be internationally certified and board certified.
Yeah.
So as much as there's no regulations in Australia around hypnosis, hypnotherapy, so the amount of information I've given you today, congratulations, you're officially a hypnotherapist tomorrow if you so wish to call yourself.
Yeah.
But with my training, with my certifications, I can go over to America where it's heavily regulated and still practice.
Yeah. It does give you a little bit more clout if you.
I mean, it's always nice as well. I mean, who's going to trust this young, scrappy-looking fella to play around inside their mind? But if I've got that nice piece of paper up on the wall, people a little bit, okay, we can relax.
Yeah. I'd be more inclined to believe someone that had a certificate than someone who didn't.
Well, you wouldn't go see your psychologist if they're not, graduating or you wouldn't see a GP unless he's got a doctorate.
Or if their certificate just had watched one YouTube video 3 years ago.
Oh my goodness. And don't get me wrong, there are still amazing hypnotists out there that have just learnt from watching YouTube and they do amazing things. But I love learning. I love figuring out the mind. So Tad James is amazing. Go for me masters next year with them, and then we'll go for as much more training and learning as we can.
All right. Changing pathways, hypnotherapy. Jay Hicks, been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, guys.
Bye.
Look into my eyes.
See ya.
Deep breath in.
Don't look into his eyes, guys. Don't do it.
Sleep.